Coming up on OTH, Raymond and I discuss the world's play-ins, the knockout stage, and talk about the group stage as well from an interesting perspective that the first day has already happened, so we get to talk about the Fnatic upsuit news as well. We hope you enjoyed this episode of On the Hunt. Welcome everybody to episode 31 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I'm your co-host Chris, aka Little Buffalo, because I've been eating a lot of chicken wings lately, dude.
Oh, okay.
And joining me on this episode is our other co-host Raymond. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. I'm curious about your chicken wings. Is that like just like per chance? Are you going out of your way to find chicken wings, or people like just it's like happening?
It's a little bit of both. Like in the last month, I've probably eaten chicken wings like 4 times or 5 times, where like I've gone out to get it, and then I've had it homemade, and then we have it for a work lunch by chance, and then it was my buddy's birthday party, so he had a barbecue where they had some more wings.
Nice.
I just can't resist it, man.
Damn.
I love the chicken.
All right, little chicken, little wings over here.
But yeah, dude, I saw you've been playing a little bit of New World. Have you been liking that game?
Yeah, I've been liking it so far. I like only so like actually 2 weeks ago, I think. Probably after we recorded last, I bought Horizon Zero Dawn because I hadn't played that game before.
Uh huh.
And I was just like, I don't know, I was looking for something to do, and then I like looked at it and put it on my wish list. Like, I think I'll get this probably. And then like the next day, it went on sale, like for like $20 off. I was like,
Oh,
fuck yeah, I'm getting it. Um, so I got that game and I installed it last week, like on a Friday, and then got up Saturday, played it like basically all day. I finished it yesterday. It was like I'd played like 30 hours, like in the, like 8 days in between.
oh man, that's true
So
love.
yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. And I still have DLC to do before the new game comes out. But yeah, so I played that game, and that was like I was really hooked on that for last week. And then I had some buddies that were like, "Come play New World." Like they were just like trying to get anybody to go play with them, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." But after I finish the other game, so I just played that like yesterday and today some, but it's been okay so far.
For sure, for sure. I think I haven't been playing too many new games. Oh, actually, I was just on the App Store the other day and I saw Legends of Runeterra, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just download it."
Yeah.
That's all I've done. I've just downloaded it.
Okay.
We'll report back in the near future probably. I started playing TFT again. Been pretty back into it for almost a month now. I just got Master's rank, not even 10 minutes ago. Pretty sweet. Pretty happy. Probably done with this set for now. I think it's over in like 3 weeks, anyways.
Dude, I can't believe that we're recording this like currently in the middle of your like dopamine high. You know?
Yeah,
Just like, holy
actually,
shit, I'm masters going
the
nuts.
rush, dude. I know. I'm still stroking. Don't worry. Speaking of stroking, I'm
mm,
not sure how to
mm,
transition that.
mm.
But this episode of On the Hunt is not sponsored. It's just focused on Worlds 2021, so we can just go ahead and hop right into it.
Heck yeah.
We're 1 week in. The play-ins are already over. That took place October 5th to 9th, and we can just go over how all of the results went.
Yeah,
So
bring
Group
it
A
on.
finished LNG in first place, the LPL representative 4-0. Second up is Hanwha Life Esports, who lost to LNG in the first match, so they went 3-1. Third place is Peace at 2-2, Red Candidates at 1-3, and then Infinity Esports at 0-4. That wraps up Group A. Next up for Group B, we have Detonation Focus Me, who finished 4-1, winning a tiebreaker for the fifth game, beating Cloud9, who finished second, going 3-2. Thirdly, we have Galatasaray Esports, who went 2-2. Fourth place was Beyond Gaming, who went 2-3. We'll talk about them a little more down below. And then last place is Unicorns of Love, who went 1-4. I just heard today that they already disbanded their whole team, so nobody is staying on that team for next year.
Yeah, but
Um,
not in like a sad way for them, I think. I think they disbanded because I think that team has been like the same for like 3 years, and they won the Russia League like all 3 years, and they're just like, these guys are too good. We don't want to just run train on the Russians. So go join like a EU Masters team or something.
I don't know. I would run trains personally. But anyways,
Yeah,
did
that's
you
true.
did you catch any games from the play-ins? They're actually no not at the bad time, and because they play like a zillion games a day, you can actually wake up and catch some up to like 10 or 11 a.m. sometimes. Did you were you able to catch any?
Yeah, I was watching some of them. Yeah, like usually I'd wake up in time to catch the last few of the day. And that was pretty much all that I would see. I think I caught the Cloud9 ones of note, or like the tail end of one or two maybe, but watched most of them. Minus their like knockout series, because that was like the series before them finished like hella early, and then the C9 series was supposed to start at like 9, like if that game went 5 games, right? And then this one, like it was Hanwha Life just like hard stomping. And so it was C9 starting at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and then they hard stomped also. So by the time I woke up, it was like already over. But other than that, I caught some here and there. I wasn't following all of it and going back and rewatching ones I missed or anything though. What about you?
No, I just like MSI. I don't think I watched any of the play-ins. And I haven't watched any of the group stage either, which is when we're recording this. And yet the first day has already happened.
Ooh.
But I figured it's kind of the same way. Honestly, the only interesting games to me were probably the first LNG versus Hanwha Life, and then the two Detonation Focus Me versus Cloud9 games are probably the only three games in total that are menially worth going back to possibly watch, maybe,
Yeah, I think there was
in my opinion.
I forget which game it was now. But one of C9's games they played. I think it was the match against Beyond, but I don't remember to be honest. And I remember thinking watching it like it was a good example of like how teams might like play to counteract the meta a little bit. They picked like Malphite top, like AP Malphite and some other stuff into like MF, which has been a really prominent pick so far. And I just thought it was a good comp, like a good example of like how to counter, people like early picking a meta power pick like that. But other than that, yeah, I don't know that there were any that you don't want to, or like that you need to check out besides, like you said, the teams that have qualified onto group stage already.
Hmm. So that should be it for the play-ins. Anything else you want to talk about Group A and Group B?
Um, Not really too much. I don't know. I think what I would say is like the C9 fall apart on the second half of plans or whatever was kind of sad to see. Like I was really just hoping that we'd make it through plans with just the no stress like for C, like yeah, we're fucking good. We're just like that Chinese team kind of thing. And then they didn't do that, which was a little bit more nerve wracking than I thought it would have to be. And then yeah, I don't think I watched like any Group A games like at all. Just because of how I think the schedules worked out. I think Group E was like always playing second because they wanted C9 to be able to like have their viewers watching.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed like Chovy or sorry, Hanwha Life, not just the Chovy team, was having kind of some struggles. Like it was not struggles, but it was like not as clean as you'd hope to expect out of a Korean team in play-ins. But Chovy is still Chovy and going monstrous, which has so far carried over into group stage as well. But I don't know, nothing else of note besides it's cool to see the Japanese team make it in, and then everything else I think was as expected.
Yeah, so like LNG and Detonation Focus Me, they both proceed straight to the group stage for finishing first place. Then after that, we have the knockout stage where Peace had to play. Peace, the third place team, had to play a best of five against the fourth place team, Red Candids, and then same thing for Group B. Galatasaray played Beyond Gaming for a best of five. I think Beyond Gaming ended up winning for Group B, and then I wrote this wrong somehow.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, and then yeah, and then Peace won over Red Candids,
Hmm.
and then C9 would go on to beat Peace 3-0, and then same thing for Hanwha Life Esports. They would go on to 3-0 BYG.
Yeah, that BYG, I
Yeah,
feel like there's definitely an asterisk on that one.
yeah, and so that's when we finally got to bring it up. So it turned out right before the day before the BYG versus Hanwha Life Esports went, yeah, best of five. It came out in an official statement from Riot that the mid laner for Beyond Gaming, Maoen, is going to be banned for I guess I want to call it insider trading for some reason, but basically just like giving away information for gambling purposes.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't read too much into it. I don't know if it's like something he was taking part of or if he was just helping out a friend. And then allegedly there's like um, sexual pictures involved as well.
I think,
Allegedly.
yeah, I think the specifics that I saw is it's he was like transmitting draft info basically. Like not, I don't even think it was like he was sending it before it happened or something. It was like they in prep they had talked about whatever their draft plan was, right? And then he like leaked that, like messaged it to somebody that he knew. I think it was a friend of his. It sounded like it was maybe for not like sexual favors, but there was some cleavage pictures I think in the screenshots that I had seen of the private message that were sent back. So maybe he was just down really bad and doing what he could. He was like, "Worlds isn't enough for me. I need to get a honey back home." And leaking draft strats for gambling purposes is how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so that guy's banned for 1 year, I believe.
Have they decided? I know they said that he was gonna be like the instant ruling was like banned for the rest of the tournament, and they were like, "We'll look into like what the real investigation will decide after." I thought,
Oh, okay. You might be right, actually. For sure, it's the rest of Worlds.
yeah, he's not. Well, I mean, they're already out, but he wasn't gonna
Yeah,
play even if they had made it.
yeah. So rest in peace, AD carry of
Mid
Beyond
laner.
Gaming Doggo,
Oh yeah, also yeah, rest in peace, Doggo. That guy
because
played
that
so well. That guy like was hard carrying best he could in the other games.
as much as you can. Yeah,
Yeah. I liked I think it was an LS tweet because I think in that first series they had against Galatasaray for the to make it to face Hanwha, he was like stomping. They went down like 0-2 and then reverse swept, and afterwards he said LS had tweeted something like I think that's the first series that I've ever seen a 5-0 because it was just like Doggo won all 5 games, but his team was hard trolling him in the other two that made them lose.
yeah. That's pretty much it for plans in the knockout stage. Was there any last words you want to say before we part ways?
No, I think I'm good with it, you know. I'm just again glad that Cloud9 made it out, but still don't
He's
think we needed
sweating.
to go through. Yeah. Did
Hmm.
not need to see that best of 5 to make that happen.
Yeah, maybe we can talk more about whether NA deserves to be or have to go through play-ins every year. Maybe we can talk about that later.
Sure. Down.
Then finally, moving into the group stage. Last night, we found out from a tweet from Fnatic that their AD carry upset would not be taking place in the group stage, and in fact, he'll be leaving Iceland to go home to for
Urgent
emergency
family
purposes.
matters, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And so they have a different AD carry. I think his name is Bean or something
Hmm.
like that. And
Which seems
so
like
yeah,
not the
that's
name that I would pick if I was being a pro player, you know. Or like not obviously not the name I would pick because I have a different nickname anyway, but like just not one that I would even consider if I had the choice.
I see where you're coming from. I think there's also possible upsides as well. Like if you're really smurfing that day, you can be like, "Oh, he's the mean bean" or something like that. And then when you're when you're getting smurfed on, they'll call you like lean bean or something or green bean. You know, something much more lame.
Yeah,
So I think there's ups and downs, and hopefully he has ups and downs in this tournament as well.
true. Because so far, I know you didn't watch any of game one, but they did not do great.
Yeah, and so speaking of which, so now we have all of the final groups settled out for the group stage. And some of the teams, you know, the LCK and the LPL team, they have to go into their respective groups because there's one from each region in every group. So Group A is finalized with Cloud9, Rogue, Fun Plus Phoenix, and Damwon Gaming. Group B is Edward Gaming, 100 Thieves, T1, and finished out with Detonation Focus Me. Group C has PSG Talon, Fnatic, Royal Never Give Up, and Hanwha Life. Then Group D has Mad Lions, Genji Esports, Team Liquid, and LNG. And again, I think I caught a couple peeks of some games, but I haven't watched very much today. I have the Team Liquid versus Mad Lions game pulled up because I'm gonna go stroke to that right after we finish this. But other than that, it sounds like you were able to catch some games, dude. Was there anything that stuck out to you today? I heard it was a lot of one-sided stomps, actually.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I woke up just in time to watch all of the North America games, which again were the last three games of the day. Thank you, schedulers, for that one. But yeah, like when I woke up and saw the results, it was just like, yeah, I can see that. Like those all sounded reasonable, but yeah, like Damn One over FPX sounded like it was just a fucking stomp, which is surprising. Uh, then the other ones, Hanwha Life over Fnatic, it also sounded like just a stomp by the end of it. It looked like maybe there was a little bit of hope. Like Fnatic had some early plays that were like, oh shit, they're just gonna do this to him. But then the Church of Chovy took over. Um, yeah, I don't know. Somebody told me to go back and watch the T1 versus DFM game because apparently that was like a fucking banger, but not in like.
Actually I saw the Reddit post match thread for that. It looked like a slaughter, and so there's a couple things. So you're saying earlier it looks like a lot of people are playing MF in the play-ins and as well as the group stage,
Mhm.
and also in the group stage, it seemed like there was a lot of Yumi picks. And so in this game, T1 versus Detonation Focus Meet, I believe they had a Yumi and a Talon jungle that ended up going like 10-0 or something like
Oh
that.
my
So
god.
it there's a couple of talking points there. So we can talk about, I guess, Yumi being back in the meta with a lot of people seem to be playing her throughout the first day.
Yeah, that one's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's been a while since we've seen Yumi. It feels like, but they're
Probably a year on, yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think if there was any Yumi picks in spring or what, but yeah, I don't know.
And
I don't know what
yeah,
it is.
spring was all like Rel and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
the
That's true.
engagers.
Huh. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, I mean, it's been a ton of Yumi. I don't know that I've expected it. I don't remember that the in play-ins either. But yeah, it's just like it seems so lane dominant. Uh, and you're playing. There's been, I think, a lot of like leading up to Worlds. There was a lot of like Nami being played too, right? Like Lucian Nami stuff in solo queue and probably in scrims too. So I imagine that some of that like influenced how people came to just find like other enchanters that can scrap and empower your carries. It seems like all the games today, it seems like it was like MF Yumi or like Jin Yumi in this T1 game that you're saying. So really, it's just about like hard stomping lane if you can. She has really good trades and a whole lot of sustain if you can make it happen. And if you're just going up against other enchanters, then there's a lot of scrapping that she eventually wins out in, I think. So that seems like pick it with a lane bully and then just go ham.
Yeah, and then I think my nightmares came true with the Talon jungle thing. I was not looking forward to this ever actually being playable, but it seems like it is, and I wonder if we're going to see more of Talon or maybe Zed or something like that. I think people have been talking about it. I've listened to a bit of the dive, summoning Insight, the new show, the jungle with like Monte Cristo,
Oh yeah.
I Will Dominate, and Stegon. Yeah. And then I think I tried to watch a face check or two before this. But anyways, so that's what it sounds like. It's possible for us to see more Talon, possibly Zed. These are kind of assassin junglers as well.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I feel like it seems like Talon is probably one of the more like high priority ones. I don't know that Zed. I wonder how good Zed is. I think I was watching a Speaka stream where he talked about it, and he's like, Zed is just like a super fast clear champ. Like once you get him below 50% HP, any jungle creeps, your passive just it doesn't have a cooldown on jungle creeps, so you just turbo clear if you can get him low, and once you get a few items, you can do that really easily. So I
Oh
think
man.
I think it sounds like that's just like a kind of turbo clear, like good for solo queue champ because you can just always like have your jungle camps down, like on cooldown, and then go scrap in solo queue wherever you want, get a kill with every ulti. But I imagine that in pro, that's a little harder to actually convert on like Zed kills where Talon is, you go the bruiser build and you can go in and you can do damage and kind of soak at the same time and just threaten carries and not necessarily have to and do it from super weird angles too with all the parkour.
Yeah, I might have to go back and watch that game to see how it performed. But that was pretty much a long sidetrack. Was there, any other games that caught your attention from day one?
Definitely the lone hopium for NA was TL versus Mad Lions. The other games, I don't know, they weren't super sad. Like the Hundred Thieves versus who'd they play? 100 Thieves versus EDG was it like got kind of bad, but I don't think it was like they were totally outclassed. And then the last game of the day was Rogue versus Cloud9, which looked kind of sad by the end of it. But again, it was kind of the same thing. It seemed like maybe they were just there were some questionable plays going on at different moments in the game, and then sometimes where it looked like Cloud9 was doing pretty good. So I wouldn't be. I'm not like too worried about those guys going losing the first game. I think we're not expecting a lot of places to or a lot of teams to pick up wins as NA fans, but the DL one was really pretty exciting and pretty impressive. I think from them to pick up that win. I don't know about you. I had my pick'ems for Group D. I had Mad Lions and TL as the 1 and 2 seed, so I can be happy about TL getting a win, but worried that my Mad Lions pick is already looking pretty bad.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. We could talk about our predictions for the group stage after having seen one day um, of action. So I think this could be interesting if you, I suppose you can say your pick'ems and then maybe how you would redo your pick'ems after seeing the first day of games. Well, I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't do pick'ems, but I did actually try out that like DJ esports website, if you've heard of it.
I
And
have
dude, that
not.
website is actually so garbage. It feels like something that's made in like 2003. And long story short, it's esports gambling. But anyways,
Oh, okay. But it's with crypto,
allegedly, it's a long
allegedly.
story.
Okay.
It's not actually crypto because, um, I guess you're not allowed to gamble certain things in the U.S. I assume. So it's like you're gambling fake money technically, but then
Right,
you could
right.
wink wink you could convert it later. But
Oh, really?
anyways,
Not just like use a VPN? Okay, anyway, go ahead. We're not a show for sketchy crypto gambling websites. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah. So I mean, it's not a surprise. Group A, I would say, Damwon's looking extremely strong, and second place, I would still say FPX, but not with
Hmm.
as much conviction. I think it's possible that FPX and Rogue could maybe end up in a tiebreaker for this second place spot. Not just because Rogue is up 1-0 and FPX is down 0-1, but just helps you to realize that third seeds are not the worst, and Rogue was doing pretty well throughout the summer split actually, and someone in the spring split as well. So I hope to see them shine throughout this world championship, and hopefully they can end their whole year in something they're proud of, even though they never won a split this year.
Yeah, that's true. I think yeah, I think for me Group A is probably pretty similar. My pick'ems I had them as Damwine FPX. I put Cloud9 above Rogue, thinking that thinking that they had a pretty good play-ins, like and they get warmed up and Rogue has been like they had a bad playoffs kind of and then have been cold since then, just like not playing. So you'd think I would have thought that, that's an upset potential, but after today, it definitely doesn't look that good. I don't know that I would. I still don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like same as you, I don't know that I'd put somebody above FPX until FPX plays somebody besides Damwon. Because if Damwon stomped them that hard, it's just like Damwon is gonna go 6-0. If that's how they're gonna play against all three teams in that group, then they're just gonna go 6-0, and that makes it pretty easy to vie for a second seed. If they're gonna be that dominant and FPX isn't gonna get wins, then you just need to upset FPX once and it's a like all you need is 3 wins to get out of the group and then a tiebreaker maybe. So I can see it for Rogue and Cloud9. It's obviously harder for Cloud9 having already lost one in the head to head, but you know how it goes. You just need to split games. That's all groups is. You split games and hope you go 3-3, and then you just have to win a tiebreaker.
Yeah, something something TSM Hopium is somewhere in there.
True.
Yeah, I think it's just up to FPX to see how they do against Rogue and Cloud9 because I don't think they're allowed to drop any more games if they want to make it out in second seed.
Yeah, that's probably true.
For Group B, I would definitely put EDG at number one. I think it's still a little tough to judge how strong T1 and 100 Thieves are because I think 100 Thieves faced the much harder team out of the whole group, and T1 probably faced the weakest team and out of
Hmm.
the whole group. So I don't I the NA Hopium in me wants to say I still judge T1 and 100 Thieves rather equally because I think T1 has ups and downs, and 100 Thieves finished extremely strong at the end of summer split, and this is just their first game on the world stage. Is kind of how I want to get into it. So I'm looking forward to how this group actually plays out because it could be 100 Thieves is the weakest team in this group, or possibly the second team, um, depending on the rest of it. But I definitely think everyone else is playing for second, as they say in TFT. So for fun, I'll just say 100 Thieves gets out of this group, but it's more likely T1 realistically.
Yeah, I do think that's a bit of a for fun. Yeah, for me, I think this one I don't think I knew enough about EDG to know, like, just I didn't watch LPL. And I mean, I know they were the one seed, right, coming out of that league, but I
Hmm.
don't know. I didn't want to. I guess I didn't want to believe. I put T1 as first in my pick'ems. I think I'd still give it to him. I don't know. It comes down a lot to how I think for the Chinese teams, I think in groups it's probably really easy to lose if you're just playing like comfort. I like that was I think what happened to FPX. Like they were picking like Galio,
I
like
saw, yeah.
yeah, it seemed like that was they were trying to be the same FPX that they won worlds with, but that's like a totally different season. So I wonder if that's not like something that can happen to the other LPL teams where they get in like we've played the same style, like the China style, and the meta doesn't matter as much if you're playing the China style, and then every worlds is going to come out with like some kind of power picks, that have just developed over like it's a super long time to spend on one patch in like a tournament setting. Teams are going to find ways to like find picks that they think are really solid. Even in the 100 Thieves game against EDG, bot lane was like kind of getting ahead. That like they were playing EDG was playing Kai'Sa Nautilus, which is like a spring bot lane, like a classic kind of bot lane for a few years now. But 100 Thieves is playing the MF Yumi that's been apparently meta for the first day here. And after like level one, it just looked like 100 Thieves had kind of the upper hand in that, but the rest of the map was kind of falling apart around them. So you didn't get to play off that power. But if that's like stuff like if you're not respecting power picks like that, then you're gonna have a hard time like going through a whole six best of ones, if you're just picking all your comfort the whole time and people can expect what to do and try and counter you. So I don't know. We'll see. That's my hopium explanation of T1 still being above EDG, but I would still probably put 100 Thieves in third here and then DFM last.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely looking forward to T1 facing Edward Gaming, and that one will definitely the fights between those two teams will definitely decide the first and second seed in this group.
Hmm. And I just have
Anything
to wake
else?
up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to watch it. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think? You with me?
Probably, probably not.
I was really hoping like you're just gonna say no outright, dude. You had me for a second, like shit. Am I gonna have to wake up at 4?
Anything else for Group B?
No, I don't think so. Not for me.
All right. Group C it might be a little interesting. I'm sure your pickups were probably a lot different, but after hearing the Fnatic upset news and then going into the first day, um, would anything change for you? I think for sure we're gonna have RNG coming out in this group first, and then beforehand, I would say it's a toss up between Fnatic and Hanwha Life. I would be more favoring with Fnatic um, prior to yesterday's news. But now knowing that they don't have the AD carry, does that change anything for you?
Yeah, I think it does really. I mean, for me, I guess my group, I actually picked RNG and PSG to be the ones that make it out.
Whew.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Hanwha has sounded like again. I don't watch LCK that much, but like the only things I've heard about Hanwha Life is that it's literally just Chovy carrying four dead bodies across the finish line in like every game basically. And so I didn't have a lot of faith in them, but I don't know. The fact that Fnatic doesn't have upset, I think that's a big blow to them, and that makes it just shifts the whole like dynamic. Like now, like the games where like the Fnatic Hanwha game, I feel like should have been a pretty 50-50, but it turned out to be like a big stomp. I think that gives a lot of momentum to Hanwha, and then you have PSG against RNG dropping the first game is like it's hard to win these best of ones against world class teams, and if you're not starting out on the right foot, it's definitely a big problem for any team to handle being down 0-1 from the get-go. So from day one, like only overreactions, I would probably put Hanwha to be the second one to get out of this group now.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, I mean, we obviously have to see, but I'd still probably have faith in PSG to be like fine as that second seed. They had, this is the same team that was pretty good at MSI. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see them still make it out on top if Hanwha can't. Like I feel like if any chinks in their armor show, then that's like gonna be what sends them out. Like that'll start to just crumble around them if they can't keep it together like all the way through.
Yeah, that'll be awesome to look forward to in this group, to see how the other teams face against PSG, to see if they're a strong team or a weak team. Because right now we don't know just yet.
Yeah, but definitely I think Fnatic just like kind of plummets to the bottom of this group with no upset.
Dang.
Not because I don't know. It's hard because I don't think that team is even like super upset focused. Like upset and Hilly are a really good 2v2,
I
but
think that matters so much, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But like, I mean, it's like, yeah, the rest of the team doesn't necessarily play around bot. Like Niski and Whippo and Adam are like all pretty good at playing like mid jungle 2v2, and like Adam is like a crazy mastermind in the top lane with 1v1 champion picks, like stuff like that. Like I think they're way more of a unit, like a 5-man unit, than just like playing through upset. And I don't think that Bean probably changes too much about that, but it's just about like how you can integrate somebody in such a short time. And also, yeah, worlds 2v2 in bot is like a totally different beast than just being really good in LEC. So it's tough.
For sure. Any parting words for Group C?
I think I've said all I have to say about them.
All right, and then moving lastly into Group D, I would say beforehand it's a lot in the air for anything could happen in this group. So I would kind of consider this a group of death once LNG was finalized for this group, because I didn't really have a read on any of the team's power levels coming into it. So beforehand, I probably would have said Mad Lions first or second, and then for the rest, I honestly couldn't decide. I think it's a coin flip between all three of those teams,
Yeah.
because I still have a lot of respect for Team Liquid despite their showing in the LCS finals, and they've definitely just got a lot of experience that can't strictly be disregarded, in my opinion. And so after the first days of games, I would say it's still pretty much in the air, although LNG probably won't be top two, or probably won't be first place, sorry.
Mhm.
But I still have some respect for Mad Lions, even though they had lost their first game, and then Genji is looking not so bad either. How about your thoughts on this group?
Yeah, I think I had said in an episode before, like not the last one, but maybe the one before, where I was saying that I think Mad is gonna be the top in this group, like, and I was pretty confident about it. Obviously, losing to TL in the first game makes me not as confident, but in my pick'ems, I have Mad and then TL and then LNG and Genji, and I think that's still not unrealistic. I think you're right about this being a pretty open group in terms of any given head-to-head matchup. I would have to have watched the LNG Genji game, but just like skimming through it, it seems like a really like super slow-paced game, which sounds to me like what
Ex- yeah,
Genji
exactly
games
what
like
Genji
are.
is.
Yeah, is just like drag it out, let ruler win a team fight, and then you won the game. Which I think, yeah, I mean it's tough. If that beats LNG, then like I think that also TL beats LNG, because that's kind of something that TL has done for like 4 years. Is just be able to play a standard game and make it to the late game and win team fights. So I don't know. It's hard to say now. I have some hope for TL in this group, and I also think that they've been like the most confident and like hyped up of any of the NA teams so far too. Like it sounds like from like Alfari interviews, from like Steve tweeting and stuff like that. Obviously biased sources, but you don't always have NA teams like actually confident like that. You know, it's I have some good faith in TL here. They're obviously a like really veteran, successful roster that I think they can handle being like in this position of power in this group, like being 1-0, looking pretty good, taking down the pool one seed already.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to all of the games in this group, and we'll see if LNG can upset anybody after losing their first game. But I still have a lot of confidence and faith in Mad Lions to do well in this group as well. But hopefully they don't flop out.
That's true.
Any last thoughts for the entirety of group stage, and I guess any matches that you're looking forward to tomorrow? But I'm sure that the next time that we record, the whole group stage will be over, and then
Yeah, it's
we'll
true. It's hard.
we'll be moving into
um,
the quarterfinals.
yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it's just gonna be like at this point, I think I'm most excited about Group B and Group D, like as a whole.
Yeah.
The other groups, I don't know. Fnatic dropping out just makes that group seem so much less competitive, or not Fnatic, but Upset dropping out. Just makes that group seem as a whole less competitive, and Group A just looks like it's going to be the damn one show. So unless C9 starts to win games, I don't think I'm going to care between Rogue and FPX. And then yeah, I don't know. Group B seems pretty intense. If EDG and T1 both like keep playing well, like those are also teams where I would say like in Group A where I was like Damwon and FPX seem like they could just be both tournament favorites in that group already. I think from day one play, T1 and EDG could also be those tournament favorites, right? So that's an interesting group to watch. And then Group D, like we've already said a couple times now, is open for the taking for anybody in that group. So that's exciting to see too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to any Group D games as well. I want to see how Team Liquid and Mad Lions continue to do throughout the rest of the group stage. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. And miscellaneous news, I think I heard that both Hanser and Cody Sun left TSM, and
Yeah, I
I
think they
just
let go.
can't hold on to that anymore.
Yeah, I think they let go of them and also their one of their academy laners, the sword. I think they let him go as well,
Oh right,
all at
yeah,
the same time.
all three of them.
Oh, did you also see today the G2 news?
Oh, I saw that Ocelot put out a video, and then he's announcing that a lot of the players are going to leave.
Hmm.
Is that official?
That was like his official like announcement of it. They kind of memed like the guys that got dropped kind of memed that it was like, wow, I can't believe I got a selfie video as my like goodbye video, but he said they would do like official goodbyes still later. But the announcement was that yeah, Wonder, Mickey X and Reckless are all like available to be traded off of the roster. Like they want to get rid of them. And then they also said goodbye to Grabs, Nelson, and all of their support staff.
Wow.
So so it's just like a total rebuild around Caps and Yankos, and everybody else is gone.
Dang, that's crazy. Cool to see that Caps and Yankos will stick together. Um, I wasn't expecting Mickey X to leave that team. Wonder, I'm not surprised. I suppose I wouldn't know what's up there. And then Reckless, we heard a lot of rumors about that. I wouldn't know Nelson was going to leave the team as well. And then
Yeah.
Grabs was probably expected too. That's a lot of moves to drop in one day.
Right? Yeah, I think I think you're probably like spot on. Like Yankos and Caps seemed like just too good to get rid of. I mean, you could say that about a lot of guys on G2 over the years. But yeah, it's hard to believe that you would get rid of Yankos or Caps at this point. And yeah, like you said, the rest have all been at least supposed for the last few weeks. So I'm not too surprised that it's official. But yeah, seeing the coaching staff go, I don't know. They just Ocelot wants to burn it all down and rise anew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to meme, but I would be interested if any of those people want to come to NA next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. They don't seem to me like guys that would come to NA, the players at least. I could see I think Grabs and Duffman were like a duo kind of that in their tweets today, like saying like we'll go coach anywhere, but like it sounded like it'd be together, or at least they'd try for that.
Uh huh.
So that'd be a solid like head coaching kind of staff. But I don't know if like yeah, same thing. I don't know that Grabs is the guy that wants to go to NA. He seems like a pretty EU kind of coach. Um, I don't know. It'd be interesting for sure. There's a lot of teams that could use them. Definitely, any of those guys could find a place on an NA team, but it's up to if the money will be enough to draw them over.
Yeah, if the money talks. Okay, and then we can just wrap this episode out with some picks of the week.
Oof.
And I, don't-
Oof.
and I don't have one, so you got to go first.
All right, shit. All right. You know, like I've already said this episode, I spent like at least 40 hours of gaming not on League of Legends. So this is gonna be a little tough for me to say what a true pick of the week is, but I'll just default to this misfortune pick that we've seen at Worlds already. I think I looked before this episode, and I did play one game of League, and it was on misfortune in this last week. So she's pretty good. You can build early lethality, but I think it's better if you transition into a crit build at least after an item or two of it. I've seen people going just Ghost Blade early, or you can go the full lethality. You go like Eclipse into like Ghost Blade or some other lethality item, and then finish it out with a Last Whisper or just go all in on that. I think the better build is you go like a Yomu's first as a strong, just like you can build Dirk and sit on it, or build Yomu's outright, and then go into a Kraken Slayer and like a Lord Dominic's Regards, and then finish it out with IE, and you're just giga strong at 4 items. You can shred an entire team with your ulti. It's really good, I think, and if you are matched up against tankier members, I think lethality is a fine option if you're against all squishies, but it's can be tough to hard carry with. But otherwise, MF, good pick. They're not just making it up at Worlds.
Solid. I like it. For my pick of the week, I'm gonna cheat and take one that you've done before.
Okay.
Surely, I'm gonna go with Kiana middle because I played
Ooh.
it. I played like one game of League in the last week or so, and I just happened to play Kiana mid. And it was pretty fun. I haven't played a lot of games on Kiana, maybe like less than five. And some of those were even like jungle games where like I kind of forgot you can go over walls with her W, and so I probably played that whole game like incorrectly. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, I just played it middle, and it was a lot of fun actually. I really like her kit. I like that she has a dash, and I'm definitely gonna need more practice hitting some ultis, or understanding how far you could push somebody into a wall.
Right.
Because for sure, when I play against a Kiana, the push it actually goes so far. Like
Right.
sometimes it
The
looks
push is
like
hella far, and then the stun radius is hella far on the wall itself. So
yeah. So
it's really good.
sometimes it looks like more than a condemned distance. I think,
Hmm.
but maybe
And
I'm
then other times when
exaggerating.
you play it, it's like you push them like an inch, and it's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, a little baby like Jana tornado or something. And then it's generally just pretty fun in my opinion to go full lethality on anyone, whether that be Kiana or something like Jarvan. I always think it's pretty fun. So Kiana's gonna be my
Good.
pick of the week. I'll
You're
have
not a
to
Gore
give
Drinker
her.
Kiana player?
Oh no, sir.
Okay, thank goodness, dude.
But I might have to try that.
All right, now I'm worried.
Yeah, I'll definitely be open to trying her more.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. I think you're ready to pick that as a pick of the week, but I'm fine. I mean, what we're on episode 30 or something now, right? Like it can't be.
Yeah, there's
There's
only
only
so
so
many
many
champs.
champs. Exactly. And I'm not just gonna go pick Yorick as my pick of the week just cause we haven't done him. Screw that. Um,
Not
but
on
yeah,
this show.
I like Kiana. That's a definitely one of those champs that makes you play it. And even if you do badly, like in your first game or so, you're like, shit. I think I know I played bad, but there has to be some way that like could have gone well because like you've seen one tricks do it or whatever, and it's like I want to try and figure that out, and then you go and do it and into a few more games, but it's fun because you're dashing everywhere.
Yeah, I remember in like the first year of playing, and like me and my friends were all trying to learn Lee Sin and just playing him. You're like, I know this champion could do so much more,
Right.
but my hands can't do it yet. That was the best part. The best part is
Yes.
yet.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Back when your W would shield on minions. Good times.
True.
And you get spell vamp from his W.
Back when your E slowed attack speed.
Does it not do that anymore?
I think it's just move speed now. Because
Oh,
cripples are fucking
isn't that
annoying.
isn't that insane that like the most random things used to slow attack speed? Like
Yeah.
I think Ezreal W used to do that as well.
hmm
Like so crazy.
And now it's like just on Fiora W, and it's still fucking annoying that that's like the only place that does it.
Yeah, it's actually like really impactful too, like
Yeah.
randomly.
Gosh, when tanks used to build Frozen Heart way more often, like I think as an ADC, like you get so used to attacking in a certain pattern, especially over the course of the game. You know, once you get like your one attack speed item, and then like that's how fast you're gonna attack pretty much the rest of the game. And then you get it up against like one person who's like jumping on you with Frozen Heart, and you try and kite, and it just doesn't work. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's any slow versus Callista. Makes you feel like you
Yeah,
just can't play the game anymore.
yeah. The good old days when you hated shit like that. Now it's just gone.
The good days are gone for sure. All right, and that's gonna be it for episode 31 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I hope you all enjoyed this little quickie one. And if you did, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on the service that you are listening to us on if you haven't already subscribed. We appreciate it if you also give us a rating or hit the like button to show us some support. You can find us on YouTube as well as your podcast player of choice, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify and so forth. See you all next week for another episode of On the Hunt.
See you guys after groups.